A very good morning to you from Henry County, from Knightstown, and the home of the Hickory Huskers, the historic Hoosier Gym for the annual Hoosier Gym Classic here on the ISC Sports Network. And as is always the case, girls and boys doubleheader. Half get to be the Hickory Huskers, the other representing Terhune. Today's game on the ISC Sports Network presented by our buddies at Andrew Prince Realty. Andrew Prince is here to help at PrinceRealtyIndy.com. By Coca-Cola of Kokomo, North Central's Indiana Coca-Cola bottler since 1907. And since the color guard is on the floor now, let's go ahead and get our first break out of the way. We'll finish those sponsor reads when we come back. Back in a matter of moments. You're watching on the ISC Sports Network.
The force is strong at the Fishers Event Center as your favorite Star Wars characters arrive to watch the Freight take on the Quad City Steamwheelers. Get your tickets today at FishersFreightFootball.com.
For the first time ever, Hamilton Southeastern Schools is opening its doors
to students residing outside the district.
If you are looking for an award-winning school system
that offers top-tier academics, innovative programs, and endless opportunities,
now is your chance to join us. With more than 21,000 students, HSC is where learning comes to life.
Apply today and become part of a district that's shaping the future. Because at HSC, excellence starts here!
We love it!
Our national anthem before today's game. The Color Guard representing the American Legion based right here in Knightstown, the building that we are in. Celebrated its 100th anniversary in November of 2021. The first ever game here played between Knightstown and Sulphur Springs. Again, Color Guard will take the colors off of the floor. Then we'll introduce all of the players that are playing in today's contest. Again, girls game coming up in a matter of moments. Boys game to follow, part of our Spring All-Star season here on the ISC Sports Network. Greg Rakestraw, Jan Bozier with you. Jan, good to be with you as always, and you and I kind of set your calendars. We are here each and every year at the end of April.
You know, how can you not look forward to this? You just get in the building, and it never disappoints, right? You know, even the national anthem is the quartet that sing it in the movie. But, you know, what I love about this game is a couple things. Number one, it's an all-star game, so you kind of expect that. But after the nostalgia kind of kicks off, it really kind of turns into a decent game.
Let's thank these great sponsors to make the broadcast possible. From the top, Andrew Prince Realty. Andrew Prince is here to help at PrinceRealtyIndy.com. By Ed Martin Automotive Group. Ed Martin, the only name you need to know. By Fishers Freight Football. Indoor football is back in Central Indiana at the all-new Fishers Event Center. And the Freight are at home next Saturday night. Get your tickets now, FishersFreightFootball.com. By Hamilton Southeastern Schools, now open to schools outside of the HSE district. Learn more at hseschools.org. By Hoops and Henry. Take your shot at Henry County. Basketball destinations and so much more. Visit hoopsandhenry.com for trip planning ideas. By the Indy 11, World's Game Indiana's team at home next Saturday with a 7 o'clock kick at Carroll Stadium. By Lawrence Township Schools. Learn more about Lawrence Excellence at ltschools.org. And by Nathan Begley of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. See Nathan Begley in Avon, and you can insurance together. And Bobby Plump being recognized before today's game. We are 71 years removed now from the Milan Miracle. The 70th anniversary of that was last year. And again, Jan, it is 40 years since the production of the movie Hoosiers. It was released in '86. I can't believe we're hitting these milestones already, Jan.
I'm glad we're still here too, Ethan. But yeah, I told you that I went back and watched a documentary about it. There are things that I'd seen about in the movie that I didn't know. It never disappoints. All the little things that it took to make this movie very, very cool. And to represent that here today is so awesome.
Rosters are being introduced. Here are the players that are representing for Terhune. Addie Bousman is on your screen from Twin Lakes. Ellie Richardson from Scottsburg. We saw her a couple of weeks ago in the HBCA All-Star game from Scottsburg. She's going to play at Western Carolina. Anaya Smith from Avon will play at Jacksonville University. Hadley Crozier of Lanesville, and unfortunately Hadley in the walking boot. Long-term, she's going to be just fine, but she missed the HBCA All-Star game a couple of weeks ago here, but unable to play in today's game as well. Addison Baxter of Columbia City. She's going to play at Butler University. She's an Indiana All-Star, as is Casey Warfer from Pendleton Heights, who will play at Taylor. Another Indiana All-Star on this group is Jayla Lampley from Lawrence Central. She's going to play at Mississippi State. Kenzie Garner of Sheridan. She'll play at the Division II level at Ferris State. Brooke Winchester of Warsaw. She's headed to play for Brady Sally at Ball State. Leah West from Greensburg helped lead her team to the runner-up spot in 3A this year. Headed to play at Belmont in the the Missouri Valley Conference these days. And Nevaeh Dickman from Fishers. She is the one player on the girls' side, still listed as undecided in terms of where her college choice is going to be. And again, we haven't even gotten to the Hickory roster yet. Jan, this is really, I would say, 20 of the top 24, 25 players in the state. Don Scheinman did a fantastic job of getting a really solid field here to play in this game.
You know, every year we come here, we go, wow, this is a really good group of girls. And they are, but, you know, we've been talking about this group for a couple years now. This is as good as group of senior class I think we've seen collectively in a long time.
Brad Bousman, the head coach at Twin Lakes. David Baxter, the head coach at Benton Central. They are the coaches for the squad from Terhune in today's game. So let's go to Hickory, their roster. Monique Mitchell from South Bend, Washington. She'll head to play at the University of Akron. Jacqueline Hose, you're talking with her dad, Mickey. Of course, was a great player at Alexandria, played at Ball State. Jacqueline from Alexandria going to play at the University of Vermont. Ella Bobe from South Knox helped lead the Spartans to the 2A championship this year. She's headed to play at the University of Southern Indiana. Unfortunately, Meredith Tipner will not be playing today. You see her wearing the shoulder brace. And so let's note this now. The alma mater is represented by Jan and I.
That's
Both
right.
have players in the game, but unfortunately injured and able to play. So the broadcaster jinx takes on a
You
a
broke
different
my
meaning
heart
today.
when I walked in here today, Greg.
Layla Abdur-Rakib from Lawrence Central. She's headed to play at the University of New Mexico. Lily Graves of Franklin Central. She's going to head to play at the University of Southern Indiana. Great to see her dad, the head coach in Indiana State, Matthew, and catch up with him before today's game. Kaya Hurt was just introduced to the crowd from Lawrence North. She's going to play at Illinois State. Kira Reynolds was selected to play in the game. She is out injured. And, of course, the big news for the Reynolds family, they are all heading to Texas. Dad is going to be an assistant coach at the University of Texas at Arlington. The two older sisters that had played at Purdue are going to join them. They'll be UTA Mavericks next year. Best of luck to the Reynolds family as all of them make the move out to the Metroplex area in Texas. Gabby Spink of Gibson Southern headed to play at Murray State University. Maya Makalewski is in uniform. We don't expect her to play today. Indiana Miss Basketball going to play at Indiana University. She is dealing with an ankle sprain, so again, she may have changed her mind given the fact she's in full uniform, but the plan is that she is not going to play in today's game. Jemiah Thomas of state champion Lawrence North headed to play at Northern Kentucky. And Avery Gordon of Brownsburg, all 6'6" of her. She is headed to play for Katie Geralds at Purdue. Brian Satterfield and Gary Satterfield, the coaches today. Of course, Brian at Hamilton Southeastern and Gary from right here in Knightstown. Again, it is a very talented lineup that Hickory has put together.
You know, and Greg, we get to see this every year where, you know, a lot of girls, you know, have played a lot of basketball, including their AAU seasons, and some, like Meredith, who is a two-sport athlete, a lot of wear and tear. And so we get to, unfortunately, see some of the injuries that kind of creep up by the end of the season.
So, again, well, the plan is that players are welcome to kind of make a ceremonial basket for those that are injured and unfortunately cannot play in today's game. So you see this for the Terhune team. Both Addie Bousman and Hadley Crozier will get to make the first basket of the game, and Hickory will have the honor of doing the same at the other end of the floor. Addie is going to be an Indiana All-Star, but again, she missed her entire senior season with an ACL injury. For Hadley Crozier, she was injured in the state finals her junior year and came back and played her entire senior season. So good for Addie and good for Hadley.
You know, I read the story about Addie and what she contributed to her team on the bench. Her coach kind of documented all that. What she brought was unbelievable. She had such a positive attitude, was at every practice, every game, and just absolutely was a leader off the bench. I thought that was awesome.
It looks like Layla Abdur-Rakib also might be elected to kind of sit today's game out. They're going to give her two. I think Meredith said, I'm good.
Yeah, Meredith said, I've had it.
I don't have my shooting arm free. There we go. Reach out and get the tie in. And so she gets all four.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or Layla's going to play, and she's just shooting the shots for Meredith, one of the two. Tells me that Maya Makalewski can try to give it a go today, which is
she
good,
very
good
well
to see.
might. Listen, I watched her in layups, and while you could see she was slightly favoring her ankle, she was going pretty hard at it.
That's good to see. All right, let's recognize today's officials. Our officials for the contest are brought to us by Andrew Prince Realty. Whether it's buying, selling, or renting, investment when it comes to real estate, Andrew Prince with Century 21 Sheets is here to help. 317-883-7575 or online at princerealtyindy.com. Yeah, Layla's going to play. That's good to see.
That is good.
So it will be Layla Abdur-Rakib, Ella Bobe, Gabby Spink, Avery Gordon, and Maya Makalewski. So good to see that she's able to at least give it a go partially today. Addie Baxter, Casey Warfel, Leah West, Jayla Lampley, and Ellie Richardson are the five on the floor for Terhune.
I'm not surprised at Makalewski. You would have to just tie her down. She's that type of – she just loves the game, and short of just not being able to go, she will play. Not surprising to me at all.
So Avery Gordon. This is a lineup chock full of Indiana All-Stars currently on the floor right now. Of course, it was a very deep year in terms of this senior class. You had a lot of potential All-Stars. Abdur-Rakib, she's already gotten credit for 2 buckets in the game. Avery Gordon, the rebound, and Could not finish. Xavier, of course, played at Brownsburg High School. Lampley will fire a three and make it in.
We'll see a couple things. A lot of shots. The court's a little smaller, and the three ball will be flying, I guarantee it.
It's an all-star game, Jan. There's not a lot of defense, and there's no defense when the 6'6" Gordon gets the ball at that position. And I thought that her teammates at Brownsburg, year in, year out, did a wonderful job of feeding her the basketball in the absolute right spot. Lampley misses that one, and Gordon able to track down the loose ball, but throws it away. And one thing Jan and I will not do is keep track of turnovers as an all-star game.
No, there is no such thing in an all-star game.
Catch and shoot three does not go. Taken away by Baxter. Lampley misses the baseline jumper. Terhune nearly 7-6 lead. Ella Bobe will pull up for three. That does not go. And we will see a lot of Ella on the ISC Sports Network this spring. She, too, played in the HBCA All-Star Classic, being from South Knox, and little Olay defense, and Lampley will take the easiest of buckets.
Boy, you just think of all the things that Lampley has accomplished, Greg. State championship, great seasons, man. What a career.
Spink the steal, Makaluski the bucket, and give Bobe the assist. So Makaluski got it to go. Wearing number 33 today. She won number 1 coming up in June. And that'll be a foul call, and we'll see 2 free throws coming up. And it will be Addie Baxter who will be taking the shots. Today's game brought to us in part by our friends at the Ed Martin Automotive Group. They want to congratulate Jemiah Thomas and Kaya Hurd of Lawrence North and Meredith Tipner of Noblesville for being a part of today's Hoosier Gym Classic. When it comes to your next car, Ed Martin, the only name you need to know. Find out more at edmartin.com.
You know, the thing as I was putting down these rosters, Greg, is how many of these girls were 4-year starters?
Correct.
You know, through you see a lot of that this year. Really, a lot of players who started their freshman, or at least a lot of playing time their freshman year.
This is really as deep of a senior class as we have seen. Good
No
takeaway
doubt.
that time. That is Casey Werfel, part of a really good recruiting class at Taylor. Three-point shot does not go. That was taken and missed by Baxter. Here's Layla Abdur-Rakib. You talked about it, Jan, one of those 4-year players.
Yep.
She kind of got the ball rolling at Lawrence Central. Baxter, the behind-the-back dish to Ellie Richardson. Richardson's going to play at Western Carolina. Her dad is the boys' coach at Scottsburg and led them to the state championship last spring. Abdur-Rakib on the drive and dish from Spink. That does not go, and they'll get Gordon for the foul to go the other direction. And in terms of healthy bodies for Terhune, there are 9. Same thing goes for Hickory.
Yeah, these rosters start out pretty good size. The time the people who can't make it and or injuries, you get down to that number, which you go, wow, a lot of players, but you can see why they have to list a lot of players.
Leah West does not go, but ball finds Richardson. She played awfully well. We saw her 2 weeks ago in Columbus North, and, you know, for the players that just missed the All-Star team, games like this is their chance to say, hey, I should have been on that group.
That's right. 21 a game. She knows how to shoot it.
West, the jump stop in the lane, and going to be called for steps.
Yeah, this is that year where, wow, you could put a bunch on that team.
I'm not going to lie. I tried to talk Don Scheinman and saying, hey, why don't you put the All-Stars on one team,
You
put
did
the
tell
other
me
kids
that.
on the other team, and let them go. I couldn't get them to bite on it. Got 2 very balanced rosters here. Makaluski, and, you know, of all the memories of covering her at HSE, it was really the junior all-star game last year against Kentucky where she made basically 4 shots in a row from that spot in the third quarter and ended that game early. That stand out to me as Bobe gets the bucket at the other end.
I'll tell you a quick story about her. My granddaughter actually went to the camp where she helped run in Southeastern, and she's like the friendliest, nicest young lady you would ever meet. Spent quality time with all those young girls, and, man, they just really respected that.
Older sister played at Butler the last couple of years, and I saw Riley wearing West Virginia gear. So I'm gonna take a flyer.
Yeah,
She's going to Morgantown next year.
Taking a wild guess, huh?
Yep. Here comes Jemiah Thomas. Kaya Hurt into the game. Also checking in for Hickory is Lily Graves. Make sure we get the fourth substitution as well to make sure we name everybody. And that'd be Jacqueline Hoosier. I think Jacqueline, when we did the pairing show, she was top 10 in like 3 different categories in terms of the state of Indiana: points, assists, steals. And her dad played at Ball State. For Terhune, Anaya Smith is in there, one of the best players in Avon's history, and got it to go.
Yeah, really good player in Anna Smith. Really good player. Going to Jacksonville. She's another 22-point scorer.
Abdur Rakib got to stick and stay on the floor. For Terhune, Kenzie Garner is in there for the first time. Outstanding player from Sheridan. Here's Jemiah Thomas, and one. And Jan, you and I get to see a lot of MIT games, and so we know. Kaya Hurt, Jemiah Thomas, 4-year starters, the foundational pieces. And how about Lawrence Township? LC and LN, back-to-back championships.
Yeah, that's amazing. Boy, you're talking about great days in Lawrence. LC and then LN. And LC, not as much as a surprise. I wouldn't call LN a surprise, but, man, they just started playing their best ball at the right time, right?
It was a surprise, everybody but them.
Yeah.
Because, again, they knew they had to beat LC at some point in time. Shot does not go. That's Nevaeh Dickman from Fishers. Good to see her high school coach Lauren Votaw here checking out the action today. Midway through this opening quarter, 3-point lead for Terhune. Jemiah lets fire. That's not normally what she does, but it's an all-star game. It's okay. Richardson catch and shoot 3. That does not go. Ball tipped away from Smith by Thomas. Abdur Rakib now will lead the break, and she will call her own number. Misses that one. Of note, Hurt and Thomas of Atlanta on the same team. Lampley and Abdur Rakib are not on the same team today. You got high school teammates playing against each other.
That's pretty interesting.
Here's Kaya Hurt. I know the staff at Illinois State is thrilled to have her. Coach Gillespie over in Normal. Thomas, the left hand, does not go, and that's Brooke Winchester, part of the state runners up in Warsaw. Good look-ahead pass to Garner. Ball taken away, though, by Abdur Rakib.
And I know basketball players, Greg, with a little shorter court, if you haven't been on your basketball legs for a while, kind of appreciate the smaller court.
Good take by Lily Graves. I kind of look over at Dad to see him smile as she got that to go. She and Ella Bobe, both in this game for Hickory, will play together at Southern Indiana next year. And steps will be called. Bit of a relace needed. Want to thank our friends at Lawrence Township Schools, voted Indy's best public schools. Metropolitan School District of Lawrence Township is your district of destination with a commitment to excellence, innovation, and opportunity. LT empowers every student to reach their full potential on the path to graduation, college, and career. Whether you're new to the area, exploring the best for your child's future, discover what makes Lawrence Township the place where education leads to a success. Learn more at ltschools.org. Dickman gets the bucket to go. That is for Terhune.
You know, and looking at the, I know this is a stat game to a certain degree, but you look at the three-point percentages of most of these girls, Greg. What a great three-point shooting class. Holy cow, can they put it up?
Free throws coming up, and that'll be Addie Baxter that will go to the free throw line for a second time. Butler played in the women's NIT for a second consecutive season as Addie could not get that to go. Want to thank Corey Murphy and our friends at Visit Henry County. Take your shot at Henry County. Basketball destinations and so much more. Visit hoopsandhenry.com for trip planning ideas.
Well, Butler's going to enjoy her, averaging 24. She brings a lot. She's one of those motor players, just tons of energy all the time.
Had the pleasure of being on the call for the Butler-Indiana game in November that Butler won. Their season was kind of wrecked by injuries as it went along. Thomas up and under. Well, frankly, deserved better than that, but she'll have a chance to shoot 2.
She's that player, Greg, down low that is so strong. She can do those types of things, and I think that she has the ability to do that at the next level, no doubt.
Thomas averaged 12 points and 5 rebounds a game, but frankly, her game was much more than that.
Yeah.
All you need to say is finished her career with a 4A state championship. Enough said.
Winner.
Played for Stephen Thomas in his 3rd year as the girls' coach at LN. Good job by Dickman, and
Quick hands.
Abdur Rakib with the steal. Layla leads the charge, and those two have played against each other for so long. Good to see Layla look for Kai. I just couldn't get the finish.
That's kind of a pass you got to be comfortable with because you anticipate somebody going to be in a spot.
Smith, hurt. I thought got a piece of that. Good scrap, though, by Smith to go and get it. Anaya Smith gets her 2nd bucket. We would see Anaya and the Avon Orioles playing in the Paul Logan Classic many years as Graves misses.
I think we've kind of settled down now, and we're kind of resembling more of a game.
Smith on the assist from Baxter.
There it is. Man, she just proves, Greg, you don't have to be the tallest to be effective. 20-some points a game, and she is a very solid player.
Smith, a 37% three-point shooter this year for the Orioles, playing for Will Stahl. And steps called. Winchester was trying to take the charge, didn't get the whistle. Line changes here, and again, both teams have 9 that will play today. So you'll see 4-player substitutions at a time. Gordon, Makaluski, Hurt, Spink, and Bobe, the 5 on the floor for Hickory. Lampley, Richardson, Kenzie Garner, Leah West, and Casey Werfel, the 5 on the floor for Terhune. I always think it's one of the great recruiting jobs of all time that you convince kids to play for Terhune and not Hickory in this game. Bobe will fire a 3. That does not go. And the rebound corralled by Lampley.
Lampley can do so many things, and when you have the length she does, she provides that really good rebounding too.
Garner's shot does not go. And again, Bobe has the physical toughness. She'll be an impact player at USI immediately.
How about Mississippi State?
Yep, one of the top women's programs in the country, and frankly, Lampley is that level of player. And foul going to be called as West and Gordon get tied up. And there are 3 or 4 players in this game that I think we could be talking about in the WNBA 3, 4, 5 years from now. And frankly, Lampley's you're at Mississippi State. It's one of those players.
No question about it, Greg.
I think Maya Makaluski is one of those players. And honestly, just because of her sheer size, I think Gordon is one of those players too. But that's how good this class is. 3 for Lampley. That does not go. And Gordon just one-hands a rebound.
Oh, how about that?
Lays it up and in.
Little hesitation, Greg. That's a pretty move.
Gabby Spink gets the bucket. Part of Gibson Southern's 3A championship team a season ago. She's going to play at Murray State. So Hickory trails by 6. And there has not been a lack of effort by these two teams. They are going at, and honestly, we're accustomed to seeing that, especially on the girls' side in a game like this one.
And we talked about that in the opening. You know, they kind of get the three-point shooting, 10 in a row out of the way, and settle down, and now they're spreading the floor, kind of move the ball. And, they, you know, these guys got the competitive spirit, and it kicks in.
And, again, you see the double lines here. That's the over and back line. So, again, old school gym, not 84 feet. So once you cross the first line, you're into the front court, and then you can go back to the second line.
Early days, they thought nothing of it. I mean, most gyms were that way. There's very few left that still have the double line. Noblesville actually had one, the boys club. It used to be the high school double line.
And there are some years they'll play 7 or 8 varsity games in here. And what might stun you is the number of games from out-of-state teams that get played here.
Greg, didn't you and I do one of the most lopsided games in the history here?
We did the first running clock game.
Like,
between Eastern Hancock and a team we will not name for their own benefit. Richardson puts it up and does not get it to go.
That is true, man. That was as lopsided as it got.
Well, it was to honor the 100th anniversary of the gym. We did not know that a sacrifice was being planned that evening. And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's good. That's enough said.
Richardson will fire a three and get it to go.
I just have to remember all the classics in my lifetime, and you always bring those back.
Well, that was a classic of an entirely different kind.
Yeah, that's true.
Jan and I go, well, this first year of the running clock, we're like, I guess we get to try this out the first night.
Let's see how this works.
Makalewski for three. That does not go, but there's Bobe on the weak side glass. Could not finish. Richardson able to tie her up. Good find by Garner. Nothing coming easy. Here's Bobe. One in time, but just could not finish. A 30-point opening quarter for Terhune. They lead Hickory 30-21. We're back in a moment. You're watching the 2025 Hoosier Gym Classic on ISC.
Sports in general is just for anybody.
Good work. First down.
Seeing, girls flag football is pretty awesome.
Now there are 13 sanctioned states in high school girls flag, and then you add on that it's going to be an Olympic sport at the next Olympics, which is huge. I think it's a really exciting time to jump in and be at the forefront of this.
1, 2, 3.
What's in a name? What's in a name? Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know.
Fans, this reminder, join the Indy 11 as they shine a light on mental health. It's Mental Health Awareness Night next Saturday, May 3rd versus Detroit City, 7 o'clock, Carroll Stadium. Teaming up with local organizations to break the stigma, support our community. Enjoy a thrilling match, free mental health resources, and special in-game moments honoring those making a difference. Let's stand together because mental health matters. Grab your tickets May 3rd at Indy11.com and be part of something bigger than the game. And alongside Jan Bozier, Greg Rakestraw with you. Dickman fires from 16, does not go, and Gordon gobbles up the rebound. Right idea, trying to find Ella Bobe. We've got both the Indy 11 and the Fisher's Freight that are sponsoring today's game. The way the walls are set up here, it's very similar to the Fisher's Freight game. You almost feel like those are in play.
Padded walls.
You just play, play it off the carom. This game first began about 20-plus years ago as a way to make sure that there was revenue coming in to keep this building maintained. And clearly, today's going to be a good day financially for the Hoosier Gym, but again, they make so much money in terms of the number of games that are played here. Funding-wise, they're largely in good shape. Or they could always use donations, always use volunteers, no doubt. But this game is now really just a celebration of Indiana high school basketball and a chance for these young men and women to say, I got to play here.
And Greg, what I like about it, through the years we've seen this, that most players want to come to this. You get occasional for reasons they can, or injury or commitments, but for the most part, all the players really look at wanting to come here.
Notice how many injured players are here today. Say, hey, yeah. I got to be here.
No, I agree. And I just think that's one of your things on your bucket list as coming up through high school, man. I hope I get to play in the Hoosier Classic.
Kaya Hurt for three in the baseline corner, does not go. Rebound pulled down by Baxter. Baxter's Columbia City team won the Hall of Fame Classic her junior year, and Jayla Lampley steps into a triple, her second made three.
She was comfortable. She looked at that and go, yep, I can hit that one, and just nailed it.
Foul against Anaya Smith. 2 free throws going to be coming up here for the Hickory Huskers.
Now, where do you think she plays in college? Does she play the 2 or the 3?
Who are we talking about, Smith
Lampley?
Lampley? Wherever she wants. She can frankly play the 2, 3, or 4, to be honest with you.
No, I agree. Just interesting as you see these girls, what they do in high school. And college brings on a complete different perspective, at least for some girls. I think she'll be a contributor really quick.
Spink goes 1 of 2 from the line. Makalewski had it, but could not hang on to it. Baxter off the window, no. And again, if Gordon's there, she's getting the rebound.
Yeah, and she's probably got it close to a double on rebounding already.
In the corner, it's Bobe for 3.
And got the roll.
Gets the friendly bounce. Second made three-pointer for the Hickory Huskers. Terhune leads by 8. Lampley, not that time. Bobe just made one from 20. Couldn't get one to go from 16. And again, it's going to be a quicker pace up and down, not just an all-star game. The up and under by Baxter.
Baxter I talked about her earlier. I've watched her through the years, Greg. She just never stops moving.
Lead is up to 10 for Terhune. Like the high-low Bobe on the basket cut. She's fouled, and Ella Bobe will get to shoot 2 shots.
Pretty pass, back door, a little cut. You know, I think Winchester really has some really good passing ability that she can bring. You know, everybody talks about her rebounding, what she can do down the block, but I think overall she's a really good passer.
Want to thank our friends at Hamilton Southeastern Schools who want to congratulate Indiana Miss Basketball Maya Makaluski for playing in today's Hoosier Gym Classic. At Hamilton Southeastern, excellent starts here. Learn more by going to hseschools.org/enrollment. So Bobe connects. She'll exit. Abdur Rakib, Thomas, Graves, Makaluski, Hozier, the 5 on the floor. Hosier's going to go to Vermont, continue that Indiana tie to both the the men's and women's programs up in Burlington.
Yeah, every year, it seems that we have a Vermont, somebody going to Vermont.
Think of the Duncans from Evansville.
Yeah.
Spidell from Columbus North.
Yeah.
Of course, their women's team 2 years ago made the WNIT semis, beat Purdue with 2 Indiana kids on the floor. One of those being Emma Utterback from Center Grove. 3-point field goal for Maya Makaluski. She's got 8.
If she's hurt, we're not noticing it right now.
Nope. Well, she turned an ankle at some point in time, but she's playing through it. That basket by Kenzie Garner.
Well, she's going to IU to do one thing, and that's to take that 40% three-point shooting and apply it to the Hoosier uniform.
Flying down the floor is Terhune. Garner will take the step-back 3. And again, the shooting background's a little bit different. Everything is so compact here. Makaluski drew contact, and she will shoot 2. When she and her older sister were playing together at HSC, I love the nickname, the Splash Sisters.
The Splash Sisters, yep, I recall that.
So Maya will shoot 2 free throws here. First one misses. This one connects. And it looks like we're going to have ourselves a bit of a brief timeout here. We will keep it here. Just a chance to kind of strategize a little bit. Want to thank our buddy Nathan Begley of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. You're good at lots of things like cheering your team on to victory. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance agent Nathan Begley is good at your insurance. That's why Nathan is here to help you think through any question about auto, home, runners, business, or life insurance. Talk to Nathan in person, online, over the phone, 317-507-7871, or stop by his office at 9821 East U.S. Highway 36 in Avon. And Nathan wishes to congratulate Anaya Smith of Avon for playing in today's Hoosier Gym Classic.
You know, you talk about four-year players. Of course, Makaluski averaged just shy, Greg, of 20 points a game for 4 years. Actually 19 plus, but just under 20 for 4 years of varsity basketball.
So that's pretty good, right?
I'd say that's awesome. And we talked about 40%, at least this year, behind the arc.
Made it to the semi-state final. They were beaten by Warsaw. That game up at Frankfurt at historic Case Arena. HSC and Lawrence Central met in the Hall of Fame Classic Championship game on December 27th.
And the Classic's the right way to describe that
HSC winning at the buzzer.
That was awesome.
And we all said, all right, well, we'll see those two teams at the end of February. And neither one of them made it to the state championship game.
You just don't know, do you?
Yeah. So the rare All-Star game timeout just taken. Richardson, steps called.
Yep, pass a little quick there.
Attendance at this event, they sell 450 tickets to come see this game. This place is hopping and open most days, frankly, for you to come take a tour and walk through Indiana basketball history. So we talk about with Hoops and Henry. You've got Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, obviously. All knocked away.
Wow. I don't even think my car goes that fast. You know, Greg, one of the conflicts we talk about sometimes, there are 4 softball players, I think at least 4 or 5 that are on the rosters today, and that's always a potential conflict, but I think they're actually all here.
That's one thing you got to deal with these all-star games around spring sports.
Right. A lot of volleyball players, but they're not in conflict unless they're playing AAU type stuff.
Hurt, lost on the way up, and eventually turned it over. Winchester able to track it down. I think Warfel can absolutely fly, but lost the handle. Gordon will track it down. Spink will quickly fly into the front court. No seat in this building, more than 7 or 8 rows off the floor as Spink nearly banked it in, and Gordon just camps out and puts it up and in.
Gordon does what Gordon does. You let her stay down the block, that's what she does.
West for 3, that does not go. Hurt. Couldn't catch it in time, right idea. Good pass to Winchester. Couldn't dial in the range, and Spink, the weak side glass. Terhune is led by as many as 10, and count the basket, blocking foul, and one opportunity.
That's a Hickory highlight.
For Gabby Spink.
Spink a little off balance, little contact here, Greg.
I'm not sure you're allowed to take a charge in an all-star game, by the way. That may be why that was a blocking foul that was called.
There's no such thing as a charge.
Spink connects. She's got 6. 9 for Makaluski. Leads Hickory. 8 for Lampley. That does not go for Baxter. 8 for Richardson as well.
Nice.
Good feed to West, who will lay it up and in. Leah West gets her first bucket. Had a chance to talk to her high school head coach Jason Simpson yesterday at the Indiana Basketball Coaches Association clinics in Mount Vernon. Is Hurt gets the 3 to go. Hurt, a 38% three-point shooter. Averaged 13 points a game for a very balanced LN team that won that state championship. Spink going to be called for the foul. In the boys' game, we'll follow this one in the vicinity of 1 o'clock here on ISC. Let's thank our tremendous ISC Sports Network crew. Ryan Pierce, Carlos Salarkin. Thanks to Dalton Cox, Alex Laverne, Daryl Tibbs, and Vince Morales. All working days event. As Bobe is fouled, and I think that should lead to free throws at the other end. So 2 free throws coming up. We are playing the college rules in terms of the 10-minute quarters today. Of course, in high school basketball and women's college basketball, the foul rules are the same in terms of 5 fouls get you 2 shots.
I'm a quarter guy. I wish the men would go back to it. There are not a lot of differences, but I like the quarters. I've always been a quarter fan.
And Bobe connects. So Bobe with 8. Three missed, and guess who? Gordon a rebound. Good quick hands by Warfel. And lays it up and in.
Boy, everything just happens so quick. It amplifies a bad pass in this gym because everything is so quick, so close.
8 of the 9 Terhune players now have scored as Werfel gets her first bucket. And Werfel made the Indiana All-Star team, and frankly, the speed at which she plays with is the reason why.
Yeah, those intangible things make a difference. They really do.
Well, since you and I are friends with Mike Broughton, I think we can kind of let people kind of see behind the scenes, because there's a lot of questions. And normally, you're going to pick the top 9 or 10 players based on who are the clear 10 best, and then you're kind of picking, all right, what are the elements on the team that you might be missing?
That's a great point.
And so it's her speed and defense would be the reason, I think, why she's on the Indiana All-Star team.
And that's what he has to accomplish. I mean, you put all shooters, that can be fun, or it can go, you have to really kind of balance it out.
Well, there's one objective, and it's 2 words, and it's beat Kentucky.
Beat Kentucky, that's right.
That's the whole thing you're trying to accomplish in those games and with those teams.
You know what I like about this group of girls, and specifically those who have been designated All-Stars, is you've got a nice blend of shooters, you've got scorers, you got quickness, and really nice blend of all of it.
Hoosier, Bobe, Thomas, Abdur-Rakib, McAlusky, the 5 on the floor for Hickory. Here's Baxter. Baxter, Garner, Smith, Werfel. Baxter on the drive, got it to go.
Man, I just like her game. Just love her game.
She's got 7. Smith flying down the floor. Werfel finds a seam, couldn't finish.
She didn't mind challenging the trees.
Abdur-Rakib does the exact same and lost the handle. And there are some trees in this game.
Yes,
today.
there are some trees.
Smith finds some space, couldn't finish. And McAlusky able to fend off West for the loose ball. Here's Hoosier. Turns down the 3-point try. And the colors she's wearing match the one she's worn at Alexandria for all of her life before she heads to Vermont. Garner scores against her fellow Hamilton County native. Garner gets her second bucket. 3 for McAlusky. Again, that did not take long for her to go from one end to the other, did it?
And she didn't have to think about it. It's so comfortable, so natural for her. Talked about 40% from out there.
Foul going to be called on the way up, and Baxter will have the chance to shoot 2. And again, it's kind of the nature, and Maya, as we've seen in high school games, is really good at getting to the basket as well and driving on that wing when somebody overplays her. But because she shoots so much from 3, she can make 7 or 8 shots. All of a sudden, she's looking at 30 points.
Right.
The points add up quickly for her. Miss for Baxter. Nevaeh Dickman, Jayla Lampley, Ellie Richardson all come back in. And for Terhune, Addie Bousman, Hadley Crozier, both here but injured and not playing. For Hickory, Meredith Tipner, injured and not playing.
Oh, that kills me. Just kills me. Boy, just to add on to McAlusky, we could probably talk about her all day long, but you've got to list it at 6'4", Greg, and when you shoot from outside, that's a hard matchup for another guard that's not her size who can get that shot off so easily.
Dickman will come back in a moment. I think Nevaeh was told, hey, even though it's an all-star game, there's certain jewelry you can't be wearing. Go take those out of your ears and we'll come back. Baxter connects. So Terhune in front by 3. 3 in the corner for McAlusky does not go. Weak side glass for Hoosier. No shot clock here in this building. Not that in an all-star game you're ever concerned about it. For those that are playing in the Indiana All-Star Series, they will be shot clocks there. Abdur-Rakib gets the bucket to go. Her second basket of the game, and she's fouled.
Averaging 14. New Mexico, Greg, is her destination.
I think she's a fantastic player. Part of that Big Four at Lawrence Central, the Lampley sisters herself, Anaya McKenzie. Anaya, by the way, who when we last had our ISC, was competing in the Hoosier State Relays, the indoor track and field meet that we have.
Is that right?
Correct.
That's not surprising.
Think about a sprinter about 5'10". Yeah, talented athlete for sure. So now Dickman will come back in. Actually, not yet. Makaleski on the catch, couldn't finish. Touched last by Maya. I want to thank Don Scheinman and his fantastic staff for having us back. This is the 6th time we have broadcast the Hoosier Gym Classic. Baxter fouled, and Baxter will shoot 2. And here's a stat you don't often trot out in an all-star game. Baxter might get to the free throw line for the 7th and 8th time in the first half.
That's not surprising, because when you're moving all the time, you kind of generate that kind of stat.
She's got 10. She leads the pace for Terhune. Makaleski has the scoring honors for Hickory. And connects again. And 24 points a game for Columbia City. Thomas draws 3 defenders. Abdur Rakib fires a 3 and gets the neighborhood roll.
How about a tie ball game, Greg?
Smith, no. Abdur Rakib will track it down. Thomas, the turn, and lefty finishes, and there was little that Warfel could do to stop that.
Pretty good pass by Makaleski to get it into her.
Or she'll play for Terry Moore down in Bloomington. Makaleski. Mentioned the fact, her older sister is a high-level divisional player. Mom played at Villanova as well. Comes from a great basketball family. Closing seconds here of the half. Ball poked away, but Richardson able to track it down. Richardson fouled, and Richardson will shoot a couple. She's got 8, and again, she was the offensive star for her team, the East team, in the HBCA All-Star Classic that we had from Columbus North 13 days ago. It was Ella Bode from the West and Ellie Richardson from the East that carried the freight. And for Ellie and Leah West, who both played in that game, they were on a team that, because of injuries, only had 7 players. Ellie had 1,600 career points, 500 rebounds, and 500 assists. Not bad in her days at Scottsburg.
I'd say, for her career.
Clock is on your screen. Makaleski from half court. Sounded about right. And that will be the end of half number 1. And very fittingly, Jan, we're tied at 50 after 20 minutes of basketball. We'll take this quick timeout. Halftime coverage comes your way next. You're watching the 2025 Hoosier Gym Classic on ISC.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Basketball in Henry County, Indiana means
the home of Hoosiers,
where legends live.
Basketball in Henry County, Indiana means
a giant field house
and basketball courts in every park.
Basketball in Henry County, Indiana means
family
and friends
and team
and fans.
Basketball in Henry County, Indiana means
memories
and history
and future
and hope.
Basketball
lives here.
Basketball lives here in Henry County, Indiana.
What's in a name? 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 Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know.
The force is strong at the Fishers Event Center as your favorite Star Wars characters arrive to watch the freight take on the Quad City Steamwheelers. Get your tickets today at FishersFreightFootball.com.
Of course, the late, great Gene Hackman being represented in that Hoosier Gym sweatshirt. Yes, the souvenir stand does quite the business on the course of this Saturday. It is the Hoosier Gym Classic on the ISC Sports Network. Greg Rakestraw, Jan Bozier with you. 50-50 is the score. Jan, your thoughts on half number one?
Well, you know, pretty much what I thought would happen. They kind of got out of the shoot threes and got into the game and kind of really played a pretty nice half of basketball. You know, the blue team, Terry Hume, got off to a lead, but the three-point shooting of Hickory kind of caught it up a little bit.
Maya Makalewski with 12 leads the way for Hickory. 11 for Addie Baxter and 10 for Ellie Richardson paces the way for Terhune. We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back with first half highlights. You're watching the 2025 Hoosier Gym Classic from Knightstown. Yes, even got a peach basket in here. You're watching on ISC.
The force is strong at the Fishers Event Center as your favorite Star Wars characters arrive to watch the freight take on the Quad City Steamwheelers. Get your tickets today at FishersFreightFootball.com.
Basketball in Henry County, Indiana means
The home of Hoosiers.
Where legends live.
basketball in Henry County, Indiana means
a giant field house.
And basketball courts in every park.
basketball in Henry County, Indiana means
Family.
And friends.
And team.
And fans.
basketball in Henry County, Indiana means
Memories.
And history.
And future.
And hope.
Basketball
Lives here.
Basketball lives here in Henry County, Indiana.
The MSD of Lawrence Township embodies educational excellence, unlocking the full potential of every student we serve. Where innovation meets tradition, our students excel in welcoming safe, state-of-the-art facilities. A traditional public school district, Lawrence Township boasts a 95% graduation rate. On the court and in the arts, our students excel. Join the Lawrence Township family, where learners thrive, surrounded by values that resonate with home. Lawrence Township, your destination for a brighter future.
What's in a name? What's in a name? Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know.
Give me three. Why are you here?
Sports in general is just for anybody.
Good work. First down.
Seeing, girls flag football is pretty awesome.
Now there are 13 sanctioned states in high school girls flag, and then you add on that it's going to be an Olympic sport at the next Olympics, which is huge. I think it's a really exciting time to jump in and be at the forefront of this.
1, 2, 3.
Let's show you the highlights. And Jan, this is normally where I go, all right, give me your thoughts on half number two. A little bit different in an all-star game in terms of strategy and things like that. Who really caught your attention? Who impressed you, Jan, in half number one?
Well, I tell you, I've talked about her a lot, was Addison Baxter. I just like the way that she plays the game, but what she does is everybody feeds off of her, just her energy. She's always around the basket. I thought for the Hickory Ball Club, she was pretty good.
Scoring in total in the first half, again, for Hickory. 4 points for Avery Gordon, 12 for Maya Makalewski, 8 for Ella Bobe, 6 for Jemiah Thomas, 2 for Lily Graves, 6 for Gabby Spink, 3 in the contest as well, or 5, I should say, for Layla Abdur-Rakib, and also scoring 3 points in the half was Kaya Hurt. For Terhune, 8 points for Jayla Lampley, 11 for Addie Baxter, 10 for Ellie Richardson, 7 for Anaya Smith, 3 for Nevaeh Dickman, 4 points for Kenzie Garner, 2 points for Leah West, and 2 for Casey Werfel. We'll take this quick timeout. Third quarter action comes your way next. You're watching the 2025 Hoosier Gym Classic for the girls' side of things. We're tied at 50 between Hickory and Terhune. Back after this on ISC.
Give me 3. Why are you here?
Sports in general is just for anybody.
Good work. First down.
Seeing, girls flag football is pretty awesome.
Now there are 13 sanctioned states in high school girls flag, and then you add on that it's going to be an Olympic sport at the next Olympics, which is huge. I think it's a really exciting time to jump in and be at the forefront of this.
1, 2, 3.
What's in a name? What's in a name? Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know.
Looking for a school district that
Challenges, supports, inspires.
Hamilton Southeastern Schools is now accepting non-resident transfer students.
Giving families living outside our boundaries the opportunity to be a part of one of Indiana's top school districts.
With state-leading academics, unique hands-on programming, and a vibrant school community,
there's a place for every student to grow and succeed.
Apply now!
And take the next step toward a bright future.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
We love it!
Hey, you see the cheerleaders in their Hickory and Terhune attire. Yes, cheerleading attire looked a little bit different back in the early 50s.
The thing I would notice is that wool, that'd be hotter fire in here.
Thankfully, it is a relatively cool day outside, which means it's a only slightly warm day inside.
Yes.
In this building that was built some 104 years ago. The annual Hoosier Gym Classic on the ISC Sports Network. Greg Rakestraw, Jan Bozier, thanks to our entire ISC Sports Network crew. Want to thank our friends at the Ed Martin Automotive Group. Want to congratulate Jayla Lampley and Layla Abdur-Rakib of Lawrence Central and Maya Makaluski of Hamilton Southeastern being a part of today's Hoosier Gym Classic. When it comes to your next car, Ed Martin is the only name you need to know. Find out more at edmartin.com.
I have 2 Ed Martin cars.
Thank you for supporting the advertiser.
I tell them every time I go in there.
You call one Lawrence Central, the other one Lawrence North. I like that.
That's right.
Because Ed
Great
Martin's
people.
name is on
Let
both
me tell you,
stadiums.
in all seriousness, they are great people to deal with.
That's why the only name you need to know.
Yep.
Tell you, by the way, your read of the Pizza King sponsorship in the semi-state is legendary, Jan and Mulberry. In case I have not shared that with you.
Why would
tremendously appreciate.
Why would it not surprise me that food has something to do with anything I'm successful with? I love Pizza King pizza, though.
Who doesn't? Lampley trying to find Richardson and throws that one away. And our thrill to be here each and every year. If your high school has not had the chance, and Kaya Hurt comes up a bit gimpy, let's stop right here to make sure Kaya is all right, and Kaya might be done for the day.
Greg, a few years back, a bunch of us guys went together and rented this place out. You can do that. At least I think you still can.
Absolutely you can, yes.
That's been a few years back. You can literally rent this thing out.
Gym is open every day. Spink for 3 on the assist from Rakib, and banks it in. Gabby Spink with 9. Gabby this year 20 points, 7 rebounds a game. Gibson Southern went 21-7 and made the semi-state, playing up a classification this year. Dickman's shot was blocked by Gordon, so we'll stay right here.
Columbia City kind of had that run with 2 or 3 years where they had some really nice talent come through there. Very successful the last 2 or 3 years.
Lampley for 3, not that time, and her teammate Abdur-Rakib tracks it down with the outlet pass, tipped by Richardson. Ellie's made a couple of threes in today's game. Missed that one. Nevaeh Dickman, though, with the rebound, and she got fouled by Hoosier. So Nevaeh Dickman now will have a chance to shoot a couple. Nevaeh has made 1 3-point field goal in today's game. So Dickman to shoot 2. And connects. Dickman going to play at the University of Buffalo, or more correctly, State University of New York at Buffalo, but referred to as University of Buffalo in the Mid-American Conference.
We've had a few players come through here going to Buffalo.
Well, as someone that contemplated driving there for a preseason game one time, John, I tell you, it's not as far away as you would think.
Right.
About a 7-hour drive from Indianapolis. Left-hand layup is good for Layla Abdur-Rakib. Layla was 7. Colts preseason schedule comes out in 3 weeks, and I always hope for a game at Buffalo. Richardson gets the 3 to go. She's got 13. Because usually it's pretty temperate in August in Buffalo.
That is true.
And the press box view is sublime for the road preseason broadcasters. Gordon's shot is blocked. Dickman on the dish. Smith fires for 3. That does not go. And Lily Graves, the weak side glass. Layla Abdur-Rakib will fire a 3. That does not go. The crash by Spink, the save by Smith, and all poked away by Hoosier, but Hoosier called for the foul. Jacqueline, 25 points, 7 rebounds a game. Shot 39% for Ellick this year from 3-point range. Led the Tigers to a 25-2 record, did Jackie? Lampley on the turn with the left hand does not go, and Gordon with the rebound, just not the right outlet pass. An unforced error. Sun starting to break free outside.
It's warmed up in here, too. Of course, that didn't hurt for, 400 bodies. We're getting pretty close to capacity here.
We may be generating some hot air in the broadcast booth, too.
That happens from time to time.
Yep. Lampley on the drive, got it to go.
And that's what she can do among so many things, Greg, with the length, finish at the rim.
Lampley with 10. She averaged 21 and 5.5 a game for Lawrence Central. Abdur-Rakib, no, but there's Gordon. Just couldn't grab it. Dickman on the break. Left hand does not go. But Lampley in amongst the tall timbers able to track down the rebound. Garner by her lonesome for 3. Missed it. And she's going to play at the Division II level at Ferris State. The steal by Lampley goes at Graves and give it to her. Jayla's got a dozen and a chance to make it one more.
She's finished the last couple of shots right at the rim. (6-1). You talk about 4-year players. She averaged 18 points for her career. That's pretty solid.
And frankly, there were so many good players around her, those numbers would have been even more impressive.
Yeah, that's true.
But you've got 4 Division I players on your team.
Don't have to do it all.
No. Yeah, there were nights when the threes would start going down for Lawrence Central, when you just went, there's not anything in the bag that you have left to do. If they're going to start making three-point shots like that, and I remember that specifically last year in the region against Mount Vernon. They made their first 5 threes. Like, well, that's going to be the end of that, because that was your one out, hoping they were not going to make those 3-point shots. Spink to shoot 2 and connects. Gabby now at 11. So she joins Maya Makaluski as to those in double figures for Hickory. Dickman, Garner, and Richardson will check out. Baxter, Warfel, West, Winchester, and Lampley. And again, I don't know if we're going to see Kaya Herding in today. She came up a little bit gimpy at the beginning of the quarter. Lampley all the way down will score it.
She got a full head of steam there, Greg, and everybody got, no, I don't think I'm good. I'm not going to attack that.
Lampley now with 15 to lead all scorers. Gordon, and if she catches there, just start going the other direction.
Yeah.
If she gets on that right block, it's gonna be a basket. Lampley, deep 3, no, and that will hit the sideboards. And
Ball State's her direction, right?
Correct. At least for Winchester it is.
Yes.
Kaya's going to come back in. Good to see. I'll get a text from my buddy Scott Gillespie, assistant coach. Going to claim I tried to scare him by saying she might be sitting for the rest of the game with an injury. So Scott is the assistant coach at Illinois State, is a former men's assistant at IUPUI, hence the connection. Thomas couldn't power through West, and Lampley tracks on the rebound, and Leah West comes up a little bit gimpy. And that's going to be stepping on the sideline.
Kind of cooled off here shooting-wise in the third, Greg, a little bit. We had a 100-point pace going. It's kind of slowed down a little bit. We'll see if they pick it back up here.
Yeah, Terhune put up 30 in the opening quarter.
Yeah.
Pace has slowed down for them. Abdur Rakib, the pull from 16, no, but Makaluski able to keep it alive, and then, well, pulls an ollie. I think I have to say that. She's playing for Hickory. Dribbled off the side of her foot. At some point in time, somebody in one of these games is going to try to shoot underhanded free throws too, just as a tribute. Baxter on the take and got fouled, and Baxter will shoot 2. Baxter with 11 points and has done most of her damage from the line. So Baxter will be shooting free throws 9 and 10 for her efforts today. Of course, Butler, same league as the defending champs in UConn. $13 for Miss Baxter. Hurt.
Oh,
she
nice.
and Jemiah Thomas have worked that just for a little bit of time.
Good idea.
Yeah, just Jemiah couldn't catch the ball in transition. West. Knocked away by Abdur Rakib. And a timeout going to be taken here by the Terhune bench.
He's got the clipboard out, Greg. Now it's going to get serious in this huddle.
I want to thank our friends at Hamilton Southeastern Schools. I want to congratulate Nevaeh Dickman of Fishers for playing in today's game at Hamilton Southeastern. Excellent starts here. Learn more by going to hscschools.org/enrollment. And thanks to our ISC Sports Network crew, Brian Pierce. And Brian is with us a lot during the football and basketball season, but he produces the Speedway home football games for Speedway City Television. Have you seen the new football field at Speedway?
That's gorgeous. I was going to say, I just have seen the new Speedway football field. That's awesome.
It is all turf with the wing and wheel logo
right, at the 500.
and the S at the center of the turf. Well done by the good folks at Speedway Community Schools. Thanks to Brian, thanks to Dalton Cox, thanks to Daryl Tibbs, thanks to Alex Laverne, thanks to Vince Morales, and thanks to the bringer of an extra English McMuffin my way.
Yeah.
Thanks to Carlos Alarkin IV. Set play out of the timeout here for Terhune, and unfortunately a turnover committed by the team in blue. Makaluski, the hesitation again, you have to stay on her for that three-point shot, which is what makes that move so difficult.
Yeah, and she doesn't really go to the rim a lot, but she certainly has the ability if you're going to overplay her.
Well, you and I had the pleasure of doing that sectional championship game against Westfield at the mill in Noblesville. And because they knew her so well, that's where she had the most success, was that right side drive and catching them up in that 46-38 win. Thomas at the other end got it to go.
Well, what she does is she makes you stop her on the three. And if you don't, that's where she's going to live. But if you try to overplay, then she finishes.
Jemiah Thomas now with 8 off the bench. Play for a Northern Kentucky team that's trying to make their way up the Horizon League standings. Top of the Horizon League, really good. Cleveland State, Green Bay, and Purdue, Fort Wayne. Abdur-Rakib, floater is good. Layla's now got 9. The drive by Baxter is good, and she's got 15. So Baxter and Lampley with 15. Richardson, 13 to lead the way for Terhune. Kaya Hurt has it poked away. Leah West.
Step back, wanted to shoot it, didn't do it though.
Not a great three-point shooter, hence kind of why she hesitated. And I'm not sure if we have official records for something like this. I'm pretty sure Baxter's going to set the free throw record for this game.
We talked about her at halftime. You asked me who I thought was an impact, and you can see why, Greg. And there's just certain things that players do. And she gets as much out of her ability as anybody, but she is so quick. Just you can tell her body language just loves the game. You see those players who are just those who just love the game and they play it that way.
Well, we referenced, Jan, hey, there's 3 or 4 players in this game that I think are potential WNBA players. Well, this translates, but there were also 4 or 5 players this year that I thought in a normal year, they're Miss Basketball, and she's one of them.
Yeah.
That's how good of a player she is. The other one that unfortunately we're not seeing is Meredith Tipner, that's injured in today's game.
Oh, you're killing me again.
Well, Hadley Crozier's not playing either.
I know.
Misery loves company.
You countered me. I know you did. But, hey, we got to shout out to Tipner. You're talking about one of the top 2 or 3 best athletes to go through Noblesville. So, Miss Soccer, what she finished second, third maybe in the Miss Basketball. That's pretty solid now.
She'll play at the University of Miami. From a basketball perspective, led her team to the state championship in soccer.
Multiple times.
Yep. Kaya Hurt's shot does not go. And Hurt forces the traveling violation.
Now, how hard do you think the soccer coach from Miami is going to be her friend?
At some point, I'm curious if Meredith comes back to soccer, maybe after her basketball days are over, because I do think she would have a future as a professional soccer player, as if she wanted to go that route. Thomas takes the dribble and actually kind of brought the defense closer to her, but got it to go. She's got 10, so her, Spink, and Makaluski all in double figures.
Well, as you well know, Greg, I'm becoming a huge soccer guy.
Yes, you are.
I mean, I've seen her in the state 2 or 3 years, and she, much like basketball, sees everything without looking. She is just that player.
Western Carolina's Ellie Richardson, and Thomas runs the floor. And second time this half, she has beaten everybody down the floor and gotten the bucket. Richardson, heat check.
There you go.
Still warm. She's got 19, and I'll repeat this. For the players that don't make the Indiana All-Star team, a game like this is their chance to say, hey, that should have been me. In 2 All-Star games, she has been great.
Yes, she has.
So Abdur-Rakib will shoot 2. So Richardson now with 19 points to lead all scorers.
What do we know about Western Carolina, Greg?
They're nicknamed the Catamounts. They're located in Western North Carolina.
Okay. I'm sure I've heard of the college. I didn't know much about it.
Are purple and gold. And they're in the Southern Conference.
Okay.
We've about extended my knowledge on the
That's
Catamounts
impressive.
of Western Carolina University.
Among so many things I love coming to this, I get educated on all these colleges from you that I don't really know a lot about.
Now, there are 2 different Catamounts that nicknames in Division I basketball, and both have players playing in today's game. The other one just checked back in, and Jackie Hozier is going to play for the Catamounts of Vermont. Didn't think I'd pull up that stat today.
That was
there we go.
I got to say, that was impressive.
Smith with the impressive crossover. Ball knocked out of bounds.
It's just good to see so many girls going to get to play at the next level.
This is a very talented class. And from an all-star standpoint in ISC, we'll have the Prep Ball Stars and SVI Sportswear Midwest Challenge coming up from the Farmers Bank Fieldhouse in 2 weeks in Lebanon. And then it'll be all the festivities involved with the Indiana-Kentucky All-Star Series. Junior game against Kentucky, which will be at Charlestown High School Sunday, June 1st. Futures game. Not sure if that's been officially announced where that's going yet. I know where it's going, but I'll keep that mum for now in case I missed that announcement.
Don't get in trouble.
I know. Monday, June 2nd. Wednesday, junior-senior game is going to be at Greenfield Central. Of course, the Friday game in Lexington and the Saturday night game at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. We'll have 4 of 5 days of that action for you on the ISC Sports Network. Nevaeh Dickman makes her second triple of the game.
She's been solid. Yeah, I mean, you talk about the players who's, I think, really been highlighted here. She's one of them.
76-72 the score. Gordon blocked by Garner.
That's clean block, too.
Richardson thought about it. She's earned the right to do more than think about it with 19 points. Dickman trying to make it back-to-back buckets.
Wow. How about on cue, talking about how good she's playing?
I think we're seeing why she's on scholarship, Jan. Nevaeh Dickman. And she was just a 27% three-point shooter for Fishers this year. Smith has such quick hands. On the attack on Spink. Doesn't get it to go, but Anaya Smith to the free throw line to shoot 2. Smith, 22.5 points, 5.5 rebounds a game. Left that one short. Smith, a 68% free throw shooter this year. Misses them both. Largest lead has been 10 points either direction. In other words, these teams were very well balanced in terms of splitting them up, Hickory versus Terhune. McGillespie, no. And touch last by Avery Gordon. Lampley will come in. Baxter will have a seat. And both teams with 9 players in uniform. Total 21 players in attendance. The pull by Smith does not go. And the rebound corralled by Hoosier. McGillespie catch and shoot 3 does not go. Good crash by Hoosier to keep it alive. Richardson.
Oh, pretty
Lampley.
pass. There's a dime for you.
Lampley was 17. We mentioned they only had over 500 assists in her days as a Warriorette at Scottsburg. The runner by Spink, no. Gordon just tried to tip it to the rim, no, and time was of the essence. Could not get it to go. Well, Terhune, a 31-point third quarter. They lead by 9. Fourth quarter action comes your way next as you're watching the Hoosier Gym Classic on ISC.
The MSD of Lawrence Township embodies educational excellence, unlocking the full potential of every student we serve. Where innovation meets tradition, our students excel in welcoming safe, state-of-the-art facilities. A traditional public school district, Lawrence Township boasts a 95% graduation rate. On the court and in the arts, our students excel. Join the Lawrence Township family, where learners thrive, surrounded by values that resonate with home. Lawrence Township, your destination for a brighter future.
The force is strong at the Fishers Event Center as your favorite Star Wars characters arrive to watch the Freight take on the Quad City Steamwheelers. Get your tickets today at FishersFreightFootball.com.
Thanks to all of our wonderful sponsors that make this broadcast possible on the ISC Sports Network. 6th time that we have been here for the Hoosier Gym Classic. We have had every one of these since 2019. We see Brian Satterfield on the bench. And yes, that's where the room for the benches are. In the movie, they put them on the sides, but I wouldn't say there's a lot of room on the baseline. There's more room on the baseline than the sideline. in this wonderful old building.
Brian Satterfield, I can remember he was an assistant coach and had the boys varsity for a long while, now the girls varsity for a long while. He is a staple at HSE.
They'll be good again next year. Now, losing Maya is going to be tough, but we got a couple of really talented players coming back. Pick and pop for Dickman. That one to go Spink the rebound. Spink, Gordon, Makaluski, Graves. Spink on the drive. Hoosier rounding up the 5 on the floor for Hickory. Richardson, Garner, Dickman, Smith, and Jayla Lampley, the 5 on the floor for Terhune. Graves for 3. Missed that one. She'll play for Rick Stein down at USI next year. Drive and dish. Dickman pulls from 15. Got it.
You know, she's just really gotten comfortable in this game. She's really, obviously really good. But she's just really come into her own here and has really had an interesting and amazing All-Star game so far.
Largest lead for Terhune now is at a dozen. Garner gets in the way and tracks down the loose ball. Boy, Dickman now 4th player in double figures for Terhune. Hoosier gets the rebound. Makaluski on the take. Got fouled on the way up. And Makaluski will shoot 2. Her 14 points leads the way for Hickory. Very balanced effort.
It's not bad from wondering whether she was going to play to leading your team in scoring.
Correct. And she's got a pretty good ankle brace on that right ankle, but you would not know that she was questionable to play in the game. She's got 15. And as always, our camera guys don't miss a thing. I say ankle wrap, boom.
How about that?
It's on camera. Then again, it's a pretty compact venue. It's kind of hard to miss anything in this gym.
If you had your wide angle on, you'd see just about everything. Boy, you think about her and Meredith Tippner, you think about that Hamilton County sectional, been blessed to have that type of talent for 4 years, and obviously many others, but those two have certainly been a staple of that sectional for a while.
Well, to your point, Jan, there are 21 players that are in this game today. 4 of them are from Hamilton County. Because we always think of Hamilton County as the big schools. Well, Sheridan's in Hamilton County too, and Kenzie Carter's playing in the game as well.
That's very true. Of course, Fisher's a couple years back had a couple, 2 or 3 really good. So, I mean, man, you talk about a blessed sectional.
Runner by Baxter. She's got 19. Abdur Rakib, the step through. She's got 13. I can't sit here and tell you I have this great level of knowledge on the New Mexico women's basketball program. Lampley with 19. I would think that Layla's going to be an impact player immediately in Albuquerque, would be my guess.
No question.
Kaya Hurt, not that time. Here's Ella Bobe. Abdur Rakib fouled. Layla's got a baker's dozen and a chance to make it 2 more here. In the boys' game to follow this one, somewhere around 1 o'clock. Layla missed her first free throw. She's made her last 3. Layla 14 points, 5 rebounds a game, 35% three-point shooter. Makes them both. 15 for Layla. Dickman in the low block. Got fouled.
Well, she goes inside, she goes outside. Pretty comfortable going just about anywhere today.
Fishers went 14-9 this year. You referenced the state finals trip they made a couple of years ago. They lost to Bedford North Lawrence. The Smith twins off of that team just announced they are transferring from Ball State to IU Indianapolis.
I had
for the
not
upcoming
heard
season.
that. I knew they went to Ball State.
Dickman connects on the second of 2 free throws. It gets church level quiet in here during free throws.
It does.
I feel like I have to go like golf announcer voice when they're doing that. Abdur-Rakib misses. Lampley against her old high school teammate. Goes right at it with the left hand. Could not finish.
Done that a few times in practice, hadn't she?
Oh, yeah. Basket cut by Baxter, could not finish. Smith, and her speed is something to behold. Good double. Hurt really made it a triple that time on Lampley. West just kind of floating around the baseline, able to pop open for a pass. Lampley's 3 does not go. Good follow by West.
Pretty good ball movement that time. A lot of movement. You like it from an all-star guy.
West just her second made basket. Graves turns down the shot and left it short. Lampley. Baxter, but she's fouled, and love what Lampley did. Lampley, I was not waving her off. That was saying stay wide so I can have the defender come get me. Love that heads up by Lampley. Next line change coming up for Terhune. So Richardson, Garner, Werfel, and Winchester will all come in. Baxter will stay on the floor. So Terhune will go a little smaller here, but a very fast 5 on the floor.
See if the Hickory team's got anything left in the tank. 6:53 left. They're back down again by 14.
Waiting on a jersey tuck is what we're waiting on. There we go. And the rebound controlled by Graves. Abdur-Rakib, the blow-by, just lost the handle. And she's saying she was fouled. Richardson will pull from 15 and not finish. Abdur-Rakib next down the floor to leave for Kaya Hurt. Couldn't put it off the window. And Winchester is triple team, which means you've got numbers at the other end. Richardson patiently waiting for the 3 and misses everything.
Back to up and down now, Greg.
And Graves probably one too many passes. Nice find. Baxter with 22. That leads all scores. All of a sudden, Jan, it's a 16-point game.
Well, right now, Hickory not finding the rim much. The game is sped up, and they have not scored.
Winchester got the bucket to go, and that now means that all players for Terhune have gotten a basket in today's game. Winchester, part of that fantastic Warsaw team that made the state finals for head coach Lenny Krebs.
Boy, beat some good teams on the way.
Man, can Werfel move. Lay it up and in. She's got 4. Pendleton Heights had a really good season.
Yes, they did. They finished strong, too.
Abdur-Rakib is fouled.
They were playing their best ball at the end of their season, too. Had a really good season.
And what I noted about Pendleton Heights is they played a rigorous schedule.
They did.
And their league has gotten really good as they, Mount Vernon, New Pal, Greenfield all kind of started to grow a little bit. But for example, Pendleton Heights played Lawrence Central. How many teams wanted anything to do with LC this year? Pendleton Heights played them. And I love when teams are rewarded for scheduling up.
Well, they went into, that's the game I seen, they went into Noblesville and beat Noblesville at Noblesville.
Correct.
I've seen that one on TV.
So Abdur-Rakib makes the free throw. Makaleski, Gordon, Spink return. If Abdur-Rakib makes the free throw, she'll check out. And she'll do exactly that. Her 17 now leads the way for Hickory.
I think somebody forgot to tell Terry Hoon the script about Hickory's supposed to win, right? They played pretty well.
Alternate ending in the movie today,
Yeah,
Jim.
we got a new script to end this movie.
Taken away by Kaya Hurt. Gordon, the lead from Kaya Hurt.
Yeah, nice pass there.
Avery got 8.
Gordon's played very well.
Richardson.
Man, you mentioned it many times, and I don't know if she's playing chip on her shoulder, but she is playing well.
She's got 22.
She's been impressive.
Hoosier for 3, can't get that to go. Great
nice
feed,
pass.
Warfel. And you and I have the pleasure of seeing a lot of Crossroads League basketball. Taylor's going to get pretty good here pretty quickly. They've got a really talented class coming in. And Gordon just sent Leah West flying. And Leah's pretty solid 6-foot player. She's kind of like a speed bump next to Avery Gordon. Gordon to shoot 2 and misses. I'm going to go play for Katie Gerald's at Purdue. Today's game is brought to us by Nathan Begley of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. You're getting lots of things like cheering team on to victory. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Agent Nathan Begley is good at your insurance. That's why Nathan is here to help you think through any question you've got about auto, home, runners, business, or life insurance. And Nathan, proud to sponsor Avery Gordon's appearance in today's game as she gets that rebound on cue. Give Nathan a call, 317-507-7871. Or stop by and see his office on East US Highway 36 in Avon.
Well, Avery Gordon has to have a double-double.
Well, she's shy on points.
She's shy on points a little bit? All right.
Yeah, rebounds, she's got it.
Oh, she had double rebounds in the first quarter, I think. She may still get there.
Makaleski with 17. We will give out our blue-collar player of the game, brought to us by Boilermakers Local 374, coming up at the conclusion of our broadcast. We won't stay on long at the end of this one just to give our crew a bit of a break. On the boys' game will be following at the conclusion. Makaleski with 18. And like most good scorers, she does not leave points at the line. Warfel will fire a 3. Got
Boom.
it. She's got 9.
She's played well.
And we will see her in the Indiana All-Star team. I think she's playing in the Midwest Challenge as well. That drive is up and good for Gabby Spink. Spink with 15. Warfel at the other end, flying down the floor. Warfel's got 11. Warfel averaged 23.5 points and 6 rebounds a game for the Arabians of Pendleton Heights. Place where I could spend a lot of time this time of year just because of softball and baseball coverage and our friends at 9 Star.
How about Gardner for Sheridan going to Fresno State? I got to cover her in the semi-state. Sheridan got beat, but what a nice year that Sheridan had with her. She really did a good job for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, their basketball programs have never been collectively better. Gordon, there's your double-double right there. She's got 10.
I knew it.
But 20-point game here with 3:20 left to go. West will fire a 3. That does not go. And Jayla Lampley will get called for the foul. And that'll lead to free throws at the other end. All right, Jan, we have reached that time of the game. We need one thing to happen.
Okay.
Need to get Jacqueline Hozier a bucket so every player has scored in today's game.
Okay.
She is on the floor. Hurt, the step back, no. Gordon, they didn't have to jump for it, rebound.
Leah West says, okay, what do I got to do here?
Well, I can tell Leah she won't have to face many players of that size
in
the Missouri Valley Conference. It's a great league, but not many like that.
Tell me about Belmont. Of course, I've heard of Belmont.
So Belmont, downtown Nashville. She'll get to play her games in the Curb Events Center. Belmont is literally located right next to the Vanderbilt campus. Belmont was in the OVC for many years. but just made the move to the Missouri Valley Conference, so her family have a chance to go watch her play games at places like Indiana State, Evansville, and Valparaiso, and not go too far from home. Abdur-Rakib has 19.
Is Belmont not an older gym downtown?
So Belmont,
because I think I was trying to remember if my son played there or not.
So Belmont's arena is about 20, 25 years old, right, as they made the move to Division I.
Okay.
If your son played in an old gym downtown, he could have played either at Fisk as a D cleaner, but screen got set by Thomas. Makaleski
Bingo
with 21. We had a couple of players stumble there. It is tight quarters.
Yes, it is. There's not room for 3 or 4 in a corner down here.
And Warfel, the one-woman press break, just let her fly out of there.
Man, I don't know. I'm sure I've seen some ladies as quick as her, but not very many.
Makaleski got it to go.
She's got like one of those push-to-pass buttons like IndyCar.
It's the right time for that reference, Jan. Well done.
Thank you.
Bobe gets the steal and got it to go. Not talked much about Ella in the second half of the game, but Hickory is back within 10 now with 2:09 left to play, and we have hit a 30-second timeout. So Hickory's got it back to a 10-point game. Both coaches are not coaching this as an all-star game. They're getting after it.
And we see that every year. I mean, they have some fun. They play hard, but at the end of the day, they'd still like to go out of here with a little bit of a win, a little.
So Hickory ready to go. Terhune taking advantage of this extended break. See Hadley Crozier wearing that walking boot in uniform. Jan and I had the pleasure of going down to Lanesville and watching them play at the end of the season.
We did. That was a lot of fun. Hate to see her not. Look forward to seeing her. And
listen, when you tear your ACL in one state final and you come back the next year and don't miss a single game,
that's a lot.
Everything else is gravy. Yeah. So she has missed a couple of all-star games in April, but she's going to be all right. Abdur-Rakib as Smith went flying. Chance to make this single digits. Bobe on the runner.
How about that? Bobe with a little over the rim.
The all-time leading scorer at her high school in girls or boys basketball, Ella Bobe, and the first Indiana All-Star in South Knox history. Bobe's got a dozen. One of 6 Hickory players in double figures. So both teams have tripped 100 points. Lampley around Makaleski. Lampley, one of 3 Terhune players that have north of 20.
She's played well.
Lampley 21. It's going to be a block shot. Ball out of bounds to Hickory. 22 for Baxter, 22 for Richardson, 21 for Lampley. And again, Lampley's going to play in the SEC, and I think Jayla has a chance to be a WNBA player 3, 4, 5 years from now. I think that highly of her. Of course, her mom, her coach at Lawrence Central, younger sister Lola. She and Anaya McKenzie be the star players on next year's team at LC. Free throws coming up.
That had to be pretty special for mom and 2 daughters on the team, state championship. Just not just that, 2 or 3 years of just great Lawrence Central basketball.
Of course, mom is a fantastic player at Purdue as
Right.
well. Makaleski misses. Makaleski's 23, currently tops amongst any of the players in today's game. Quick substitution. Ellie Richardson will come in. Anaya Smith will have a seat.
Well, it's 9 now. Got a minute 21 here. Uh-oh, we're having pressing in an all-star game now. I like it.
Give the ball to Warfel, let her go.
That's a travel.
But then Dickman couldn't hang on to it.
Could get interesting. Right about here.
And foul going to be called against Dickman. So Makaleski will go back to the free throw line and shoot 2 more. In the boys' game, in the vicinity of 1 o'clock. Same place as you were watching this game on ISC's Twitter, YouTube, ISCSportsNetwork.com, Apple TV, and Roku, all the places you can find today's game. As I tell people, every place but Carrier Pigeon, we're training the pigeons as we speak. Makaleski makes them both. Down to a 7-point game, and Coach Satterfield coaching them up a little bit more.
Yep, down to 7.
And for Brian, this is his last chance to coach Maya Makaleski in a game, which is cool to see. Makaleski 26, Abdur Rakib 19, 15 for Spink, 12 for Jemiah Thomas, 12 for Ella Bobe, 11 for Avery Gordon. Paces the way for Hickory, for Terhune. 22 each for Baxter and Richardson, 21 for Lampley, 14 for Dickman, 11 for Warfel, 7 for Smith.
Solid crowd here for the women. Of course.
We're at that overlap time where you get both crowds together here.
Yeah, well, you take advantage of it.
Throwing length the floor against the press.
Uh-oh.
But then Hickory gives it right back. As you can tell, this is being taken very seriously. Baxter lost the handle. This was an 18-point game.
Yeah. Something here could get interesting.
Abdur Rakib, the left hand, got it. She's got 21.
2-possession game.
Warfel. And Graves gives the foul. Another foul to give. That's just the 3rd team foul. Here comes the double. Baxter finds Lampley, who finds Richardson, who finds a bucket. Richardson with 24. Step through by Abdur Rakib, shot blocked, and then it went right in her hands, out of bounds. And then Makaleski, is going for the foul. And love the fact that Warfel helps her up immediately. Thinking they had a foul to give, did Hickory. And I can't believe I'm saying that in an all-star game, Jan, but
yes, you did.
We are. Good pass to Lampley. Lampley will play keep away as best she can, but throws it away. 7-point lead with 20 seconds left to go, and the steal, Warfel. She's got 13, and that will do it. Abdur Rakib will pull up for one more 3. That is no good. Bobe will get one last look, and that's that. Well, great comeback ever by Hickory. Terhune hangs on to win this one 114-105. Jan, let's reference our blue-collar player of the game, presented by Boilermakers, Local 374. Become a Union Boilermaker. Be on your way to a great career. Find out more when you log on to local374.org. How about Addie Baxter with 22 points? She is our blue-collar player of the game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I thought from the opening she just brought the energy, and I thought her All-Star teammates really kind of fed off of her. Really well done today.
Let's thank our great sponsors that make this game happen each and every year. Today's game presented by Andrew Prince Realty. Andrew Prince is here to help at PrinceRealtyIndy.com. By the Ed Martin Automotive Group, the only name you need to know. By Fishers Freight Football. Indoor football is back in Central Indiana at the all-new Fishers Event Center. And the Freight are at home next Saturday night. Get your tickets at FishersFreightFootball.com. By Hamilton Southeastern Schools, now open to students outside of the HSE district. Learn more at hseschools.org. By Hoops and Henry, take your shot in Henry County. Basketball destinations and so much more. Visit hoopsandhenry.com for trip planning ideas. By the Indy 11, World's Game Indiana's team at home next Saturday with a 7 p.m. kickoff at Carroll Stadium. By Lawrence Township Schools. Learn more about Lawrence Excellence at ltschools.org. And by Nathan Begley of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. See Nathan Begley and Avon, and you can insurance together. Jan, final thoughts on this one?
Well, they didn't disappoint, really. We highlighted what a great group of senior class this was. They didn't disappoint. I thought the teams were very even. But at the end of the day, the Terhune blew just a little too much.
26 points from Maya Makaluski. She led all scores. 21 for Layla Abdur-Rakib. Ellie Richardson finished with 24 to lead the way for Terhune. For Jan Boger, our entire ISC Sports Network crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Boys game will start in approximately 20 minutes. We hope you join us then. But for now, goodbye from Knightstown and, well, rather, Hickory. Well, Terhune wins this one, 114-105. Thanks for joining us with Hoosier Gym Classic on ISC.